welcome to the franchise. I'm your host, the D-Woodger Countess, Daniel Ehrenberg. And let's take you back to the late 20s where we are still taking up post in our beautiful abbey, the Downton Abbey. Yes, indeed. Downton Abbey, a fine television program that ended a mere 6 years ago, has already produced 2 feature films. I gotta stop talking like that. And we're gonna cover both of them today on the show. Let me bring in Logan. Logan, watching Downton Abbey for the first time, give me your initial thoughts.
We're talking about the first episode of the show too, right?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Well,
I brought that up as a joke. You actually watched that?
no, I didn't. But
Oh,
imagine.
thank God. Oh my, I really got nervous.
No, don't be nervous.
Okay.
Yeah, I jumped in with both feet. This was a lot of fun for me to watch these movies, I gotta say.
Oh, yeah. All right. Well, let's get straight up into it. Okay? How familiar were you with the show?
I knew Maggie Smith was in it,
Yep.
and that's it. You told me Lily James was in this, by the way. I didn't
man.
see Lily James for 1
Bro,
second.
she's in the show, and I don't know what happened. I guess they couldn't get her back for these movies.
Yeah, I guess so. They couldn't get that guy either. The guy that like pops up at the end and then doesn't show up in the second
I
movie.
know, Matthew Good. Matthew
said,
Good
"No,
wanted
thank
no
you."
part of this shit. It's true. Lily James, they mention her in the first movie. They're like, yeah, Rose, I guess she's not around.
Yeah, I didn't know who she was, so.
Yeah. But yeah, so sorry about that. I hyped you for Lily James and she wasn't there. But Maggie Smith is in attendance.
Yeah, plenty of other women to make up for no Lily James.
Oh, yeah. Who's your Downton crush?
Oh, that's a good question. I gotta go Edith.
I almost choked on my.
Oh, you don't like Edith?
No, I love Edith, but that is a crazy answer.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Lady Edith. What a divisive character. I mean, and I mean, for years she was known as the ugly sister.
Really?
Yeah.
Of her and Mary, they're sisters?
But she's in the middle. Their youngest sister, Sybil, died. Now, we know... Boy. Yeah, it's tough. Listen, let's get into it in a second.
Okay.
This show already aired 6 seasons before these movies.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So I watched them all. I watched all the episodes. Every single one of them. And
how many are we talking?
52.
Okay.
Yeah, it's not that bad. But I didn't want to watch the show. It seemed boring to me when it came out, obviously. It came out, it was like, yeah, this is on BBC America. It's got like no actors you're that interested except for Elizabeth McGovern, who was in Once Upon a Time in America getting raped by Robert De Niro. And then like no one else really. Like Maggie Smith, I guess, is exciting to a certain segment of audience, but like Maggie Smith I'm happy to see, but I'm not going to like tune into something for Maggie fucking Smith.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway.
You like Daisy? Bet you like Daisy.
Yo, I'm such a Daisy guy, dude.
Yeah.
Hell
sense.
yeah, Daisy.
Bet you hate Andy, though.
Her husband?
Yeah.
No.
Well, they don't get married until the movies.
Yeah,
they're not married
know.
the whole show.
Listen, I'm not a big fan. Well, it's because Daisy had a different husband who passed away.
Oh my goodness.
And she only married him because he was so in love with her. And it was like he was a good man and she knew he might be dying. And so she married him. And now she's still part of that family, even though they all kind of knew she wasn't actually in love with
them. So she married
them.
into them?
Yeah, actually the dad, her dead husband's dad is the one who ends up marrying Mrs. Patmore at the end of the second
Mr.
movie.
Mason.
Yes.
Okay. All right. I have a few questions because I didn't realize that the guy Carson. Okay, first of all, so did the guy Carson was he like the manager at one point?
Yeah.
Okay, so then they bring him back to do the
Yeah, he
butlering?
was like the top butler the whole series, and basically the show ends with him retiring.
Oh,
So then in the movie, if you want Carson to be involved, and believe me, you do,
yeah, he's cool.
uh, you got to bring Carson back. He's like coming out of retirement for one last dinner service.
But then in the second movie, it turns out he's banging that Mrs. Hughes lady.
What do you mean? Turns out they were living together in the first movie.
I didn't realize that in the first movie. Only in the second movie when they were in bed
a
together.
long drawn out romance, and for years they didn't act on their feelings for each other,
Oh my
Logan.
goodness.
And then they finally did. Thank God Carson and Hughes are fucking now.
Okay, wait.
Um,
You brought up that Mary had a husband that died. Didn't Mary also have a husband that died?
Wait, I brought up that Mary had a husband that
Daisy,
died.
I mean.
Oh,
But doesn't Mary
Mary.
also? Didn't she say that?
Yes,
In
indeed.
a car crash?
Yes, and that was okay. Can I just start from the show?
Yeah, that good.
Okay, so Julian Fellows is the dude who created the show. I'm Julian Fellows, and sorry, that's a Brian Fellows reference. And he's a weird guy. He started out his career in Hollywood as an actor. He actually, apparently, he almost had his big break. He was second in line for the role of Tattoo in the show Fantasy Island.
Wow, you love that show.
You know that little dwarf who like
I haven't seen that.
the plane.
No.
Listen, on Fantasy Island, it's run by a guy in a big suit who's very ominous and mysterious, but he has a sidekick who's a dwarf named Tattoo. And the dwarf stands next to him at Fantasy Island when the new clients are coming in, and he points at the plane every time and goes, the plane, the plane.
Oh my god.
And Julian Fellows was almost that guy.
All right. Well,
All right.
glad he didn't probably.
Yeah. Shit turned out way different for him. He won an Oscar. I think he won for writing Gosford Park.
Oh shit. Yeah, it's on my list.
Yeah, for Altman. And then that like launched him, dude. Like after Gosford, they were like, do whatever the fuck you want. BBC like threw money at this motherfucker. And so he this was like his blank check thing. He was like, fine, I'm gonna do this thing, Downton Abbey. It's an 8-episode miniseries that takes place in like the 1910s during World War One. And it came out and it was a miniseries. And then it was such a huge hit that BBC was like, you gotta do more.
Rank the seasons. You said there are 6?
Yeah.
Go.
Rank the seasons?
You don't know?
I really don't.
Okay.
One's the best by far.
Oh, interesting.
Because it was supposed to be a miniseries. It's got a whole story to tell. It has a lot to say about the sort of relationship between like wealth and servitude. And it's a cool show with like great characters. And then they just like it kept going for so long, dude. When Downton Abbey ended after the 6th season, it wasn't a thing where like it wasn't even a thing where it's like it's a good time for it to end. It was more a thing where it's like, well, this has already been going 2 years too long.
Yeah.
I'm so glad it's now wrapping up. And then it did. And then like only 2 years later, they're like, hey, remember that show where we were obviously completely out of ideas and had nothing left? We're going to make more of it.
Yeah. And then they made more of that.
Yeah. And then, except they got me because I love these fucking movies.
Yeah, they're fun, right?
Yeah, they're great. They're great.
And I didn't think they're too long. They feel too long in certain points, but in other points you're just
But
like
they keep them at
enjoying
2.
what's going on.
Keep them exactly at 2 hours. Is the thing. They are too long, especially the first one, because the actual narrative thrust of it being like, will the queen and king's visit go well? Like that's wrapped up with like a half hour left in the movie, and with that half hour, we just do a bunch of like check-ins. Like this is where we're gonna leave off these characters. There's just so many characters that if you want to give like a decent story to all of the characters, you cannot keep it under 2 hours.
Were you surprised by the finale of the final movie?
What do you mean?
The big death at the end? I guess we could spoil it. We're talking about something that
Maggie Smith.
Yeah, were you surprised by that, or you figured that she would die?
I guess I was surprised she was in the second one.
Yeah.
Like the first movie, oh God, we're like jumping all over the place. But the first movie ends with like Maggie Smith basically having this long conversation with Lady Mary, played by Michelle Dockery, where
Mhm.
she's like,
She's very good, by the way.
she's great. Yeah, I love Lady Mary. She's basically like, I'm dying like any day now. You're the new mistress of Downton Abbey. You're going to be me. It's basically like a passing the torch scene. And it was almost like I expected the second movie to come into play. And it's like the, she's passed on and Lady Mary's taken on control of the Abbey. And like, let's see where we go from there. But no, she's still fucking hanging on by a thread. Still got enough wits about her to deliver snarky shit.
Mm-hmm. But not at the end of the second one.
Yeah. Sarcasm's the lowest form of wit.
Yeah, she does say that.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, like you said, Mary was married at one point, but in that case, that was just Dan Stevens was her husband, and he had only signed on to a mini series, and he was starting to catch on as an actor, and he was like, I didn't fucking sign on for this shit. Kill me.
Oh,
And
really?
so they did. Yeah.
Because she said that he died 7 years ago, and that would have been 2015. So I just assumed that was like he died in the last season.
No, it was like season 3 or something like that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's hard. It's really badly shot too. It's so stupid. Anyway, Dan Stevens. I bet he's missing out on these fucking Downton Abbey movie checks now.
What's he doing instead?
I don't know. Isn't that guy like doing well? I feel like he caught on as an actor. He was in that movie The Gift, right?
Well, he was the Beast, but I don't know what he did after that.
The Guest. That's what I was talking. Not The Gift. The Guest. Don't you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do.
He was on that show Gaslit that just aired on Stars. Come on, this motherfucker's on Stars. You think he wouldn't take a movie check right now?
I saw the other guy was in the Godfather show. That's why he wasn't doing it, probably.
What guy?
Matthew Good.
Oh, I mean,
I don't know what he was doing instead of the first movie, but I don't know. I guess
I
wanted
think
to
he
branch
was
out.
just like he signed on to do an arc. He's like not on the whole show. He just like shows up in the last season because it's like it's the last season. We need Lady Mary to end up with somebody. He did the fucking same thing on The Good Wife. He fucked the Good Wife in the last season of The Good Wife.
He's very handsome.
Yeah, that's what you do. You bring on Matthew.
He's
Good.
tall too. I guess
Yeah,
that's his thing.
He's certainly not Matthew Great, but he's Matthew Good.
That's funny.
Yeah. So yeah, so that was the show. 6 years and out, and all the surviving cast members are back.
All of them. Lily James didn't bite it.
No,
For sure she died in the show.
Yeah, no, she's not in the last season that much though. She came back for the finale, and they wrote her out before then. She was sort of the bohemian cast member. You'll notice like there's no black people anywhere to be found in these movies.
Yeah, that's true.
And she used to hang out with black people.
I didn't notice because I don't see race, but you are right about that.
Yeah, you don't see race.
Whatever. What do people say?
Colorblind, baby. All right, so Fellows is writing this bad boy. Our director's a guy named Michael Engler. Familiar with this guy?
No.
No. Okay.
Are you?
Well, he's just a TV. Yeah, I mean, I am. I actually like Michael Engler. He's a TV director, but he's not really the one you'd expect to do this. Like, he's not a BBC guy. He's an American TV director.
Yeah, I thought the same thing actually. I was like, oh, this guy probably did like a whole bunch of episodes of the show, and I looked, he did 4 episodes.
Yeah, in like the later seasons.
Yeah, I was like, this is a weird choice.
It is a weird choice. Like he directed more episodes of 30 Rock than he did Downton Abbey.
Yeah, I saw he did a movie, The Chaperone, with the woman that plays Cora.
Oh, it's not Triple H?
Yeah, no, not the Triple H movie.
Oh, I see. Yeah. So maybe that got him the job. McGovern stuck up for him?
Yeah, I guess so.
Julian Fellows wrote that movie too. They're like,
Oh yeah.
yeah, so that must be it. That's how they got going. And now Michael Engler is directing most of the episodes of The Gilded Age, which is the Downton Abbey follow-up show on HBO.
Oh, okay.
Gilded Age takes place in the late 1800s in New York, and it's really good. Julian Fellows says it takes place in the same universe as Downton Abbey. We have seen no evidence of that yet, but he has basically implied that, like, if you stick with the show long enough, maybe like young Maggie Smith will show up.
Oh, that sounds terrible.
Yeah, I know. But I'm still watching every ep, baby.
It's good though?
It's
You're
great.
not
Yeah,
okay.
I'm loving it. It's got Christine Baranski, all the greats.
All
Carrie
right.
Coon, you know I love Carrie
Yeah.
Coon.
Uh-huh.
Yeah. All right, so that's Engler. The movie came out in America September 20th, 2019. It came out a week before that in England. And on a budget of $20 million, it made 194.7.
Wow.
Coming in at number 32 at the American box office between the Addams Family animated movie and Rocketman with Elton John there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
With real Elton John?
I don't know if he's in it. He's dead now, right? In real
What?
life?
No, he's not.
Is Elton John
did he
dead?
die?
I thought
He did
Elton
not
John
die.
died like 2 years ago or something.
But due to COVID? I'm
Yeah,
gonna
he
look it
died
up.
of COVID.
I'm looking up if Elton John is dead.
Am
I
I
don't
wrong
think
about
that
that?
happened.
Did I kill off Elton John in my
I think
brain?
you did.
I did. He's alive.
Yeah, come on.
What the fuck did I do? I think it was just like around the time Rocket Man, his husband, was like giving all the interviews.
Is he famous? Who's he?
He's not. He's just like some, gay fella named David Guest. And I think I just assumed that Elton must be dead because that dude's giving all the interviews. But maybe Elton just doesn't give a shit.
Oh yeah. I mean, why would you?
He's shopping for wigs and stuff.
Yeah, and cool glasses.
He's too busy not writing lyrics.
What does that mean? He doesn't write lyrics?
He doesn't write his own lyrics. Elton John has a lyricist.
Oh, all right. They can't do everything.
That always bugged me. Listen, Elton, you're half a performer in my eyes.
Who is a full performer?
Jackson Browne, Bruce Springsteen,
Blink-182,
Joni Mitchell,
Taylor Swift,
Patti Smith. Wait,
Katy
no.
Perry.
Wait, Patti Smith. Some of her songs were written by Bruce Springsteen. No,
Damn,
not
he did
Katy Perry. Stop it.
Oh. Sorry.
Carole King.
Maroon 5.
I mean, I hate to say.
One Republic.
One Republic. Who are they?
You're the One Republic?
Are they this band? It's too late to apologize.
I think so. Yeah. I want to say that.
All right. I remember that song being done on American Idol a lot.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I want to say maybe Archuleta did it.
Yeah. Sounds right.
Yeah. With his eyes closed.
Constantine would have kept him open. You know what I'm saying?
You better believe it. That guy stared at you, man. Stared at your face. All right. So let's get into it. We do a show called Compies on the Patreon, patreon.com/thefranchise, $5. And it's like I'm watching something for the first time, the Big Brother, right? And Logan is an expert. And so I'm the newcomer. And then I do a thing where I screw up my notes, which is just reading my notes. And I don't know how this sounds to a newcomer, but now we're doing the challenge, which our friend Tim has never seen. He's the newcomer. So I think it's always best to have a newcomer. And you were the Downton Abbey newcomer, Logan. So I thought it'd be fun if you went through your notes first. Just any thoughts you have, any questions, talk about each of the characters. Who do you like? Who do you not like?
Sure.
Yeah.
All right. Well, my first question, I guess you answered one of my questions, which was Edith and Mary are sisters, correct?
Yes, and they used to have a youngest sister named Sybil, but she died in childbirth, giving birth to Sibby.
Wait. Okay. All right. Good. All right. Okay.
And her husband, the guy who knocked her up at the time, was Irish Tom. who it figures heavily into both of these films.
Well, that raises another one of my questions. Why are there so many people with the same name?
There are too many fucking Toms in this show. I never noticed that before watching the show. I gotta be honest. Watching this movie for the first time, I was like, those characters were both introduced in the first season. You cannot
And their
have a
last
character.
names are similar. It's Branson and Barrow. Why
It's
are you
Tom Branson and Thomas Barrow. That is far too close.
Yeah. Come on, you can't do that. What, Julian Fellows?
Yeah.
Julian.
Get it together, Julian. Well, I mean, there are like a million characters. It's like Stan Lee, how he had to name all the characters with like alliteration.
And probably not a lot of names back then. Maybe.
Not a lot of names back then.
Is there a Scott in 1910? Show me
You
a guy
don't
named
think
Scott.
there were Scots? No, Scott's a pussy. These pussy names, like, they didn't come till much later. Your Todds.
Cooper.
Cooper. Yeah, I don't think that. Cooper's a cool name though.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool name.
I feel like if I met a dude named Cooper, it could go either way. You might be all right. If I met a guy named Todd, you're probably shitty.
Okay. Maud and Violet. Cousins?
Who are they? Maud and Violet?
Okay. Maud Bagshaw. She
No.
is Imelda Staunton.
Oh, okay, got it. Yeah.
And Violet
Violet
Crowley.
is Maggie Smith.
She's
I'm
Maggie-
sorry.
they're cousins?
I just think of her as the Dowager Countess.
I get it.
I gotta say, I think they called her Violet more times in these movies than they ever did on the fucking
Yeah, they
show.
do a lot in the second movie. They
Yeah.
really do a lot. Actually, in the first movie, I was just writing like their Harry Potter names. I was just writing like McGonagall. Well, not McGonagall. that's way
Well,
too long.
Imelda Staunton's not really a thing in the show as much. She's more a movie character. I honestly think she's just there
Which one?
because Imelda Staunton,
They
Dolores
really forced her
Umbridge.
into the second movie.
Yeah, and I think it's just because she's married to Jim Carter in real life,
Oh, who's he?
Mr. Carson.
Oh shit! Are you serious? I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
those two fuck in real life.
That's
Picture
cool.
that. Picture that.
I can easily picture
That's
that.
a thing that happens on a regular basis. Is that
Well-
Jim Carter, the guy who plays Mr. Carson on Downton Abbey, shoves his dick into the pussy of the woman who plays Miss Umbridge in Harry Potter.
How long have they been
5,
married?
Since like the early '80s.
That is awesome.
I know.
That is one of my favorite things I've ever learned.
Yeah, it's pretty great.
But I mean, how regular do you think it still happens? Probably not too much, right?
Are you kidding
Like how
me?
many times
I
a
feel like
week?
Carson. Like you look
I'd
at
say 0 to
Carson
1.
and Imelda. I disagree. Doesn't Imelda Staunton look like sort of like a mischievous older woman?
I'll tell
Like
you.
I think she's
she's pretty
getting
hot.
fucked. I gotta be honest. Yeah, if I'm like in my 70s and like she's the one I'm
I'm
fucking,
23.
I'm fine with life.
Yeah, I was watching these movies and I was like, why is she so hot? This is like so many years after Harry Potter, and she's so hot in these
I
movies.
think it's not hot. It's a matter of sexy. Like some older women you see, and it's just like they never lost that sexiness that they had. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get it. Maggie Smith doesn't have that.
No, not at all. Maggie Smith's just
She has
like
like
an old lady.
an elegance though to her.
Agreed.
I would describe her as very elegant.
I think Elizabeth McGovern, when she gets a little older, like when she's an old lady, is
She's
gonna be
old.
so fucking fuckable.
Really?
Yeah.
I think Mary is way better than the Cora.
She's decades younger, dude. I'm not. There's no comparing the two. I'm saying Elizabeth McGovern's probably like 60 now, and she's still looking like fucking right on.
But Edith is where it's at. She's just like changing in this whole movie. Like
Dude.
every time we see Edith, she's switching dresses.
Yeah, you know why? Because like Edith always was like alone and sad in the entire run of the show. So I feel like at the end of the show, they finally paired her off with like a dude who loves her and stuff. And in the movies, they're like, let's just like leave Edith out of shit, keep her happy for the most part, and let her look hot.
Yeah, she doesn't really do too much except she's waiting for a dress. And then the second movie,
Yeah, and she's like
She
trying to
is
get Tom
a
to hook
journalist.
up with Lucy.
who?
Lucy.
Oh right,
Yeah.
right, the maid.
Tuppence Middleton.
Right. By the way,
I didn't.
that
The
confused
first.
me.
Yeah, me too. The first time I saw this movie, I wasn't familiar with that actor. And she showed up in this, and the whole first movie is about the king and queen visiting Downton Abbey, right?
Right.
So I see an actress named Tuppence Middleton, and the whole movie's about royals. I'm like, this must be like stunt casting. It's probably like Kate Middleton's sister or something. And I was surprised that she was good. But I would no, like I looked her up now, and she's just like some rando actress with the last name Middleton. Kate's sister is, of course, the amazingly slutty Pippa Middleton.
I don't know, Pippa.
You're missing out, dude.
Yeah, I guess so.
I love when like one of the royals or something has like a bad seed system. Like, you ever watch The Crown?
No.
It's fucked up because I never watched The Crown while
But aren't they all horrible? Isn't that the thing?
No, but there's the ones that are like Maggie Smith that are like just like elegant and like normal on the surface, and then it's always like, oh, and she had a sister who had to get a lobotomy because they caught her like blowing 17 guys.
Wow. No, I don't really know.
It's
about all
always
that.
something like that, man. You got to watch The Crown.
Really?
No, you don't. I mean, if you're gonna watch one of these shows, just watch Downton Abbey.
I'd rather not at this point. I'm all caught up, I think.
Yeah, you are. The Crown is like a serious like biopic. We're trying to tell like the true story of the royals as it happened. Whereas Downton Abbey is a show like, so let me tell you about how I got into the show.
Yeah.
Because I didn't want to watch it when it first came out. It looked boring. It does look boring, right? You look at a picture of it, like it's like 70 people in like fucking old-timey dress. And like, I don't care. I'm not that into costume design and sets. That's why
I was excited because you were obviously excited for it, but like I would obviously never watch this on my own.
Yeah. But then I was working at Barnes and Noble at the time, and the mini series came out on DVD, and it was the hottest selling DVD. People were coming in by the gallon to buy these digital video discs.
Well, I guess book lovers are boring. I guess that makes sense.
Yeah, and it was mostly like elderly New York, like old New York people that like wanted to watch this boring show. And so I was like, at this point I was stealing a lot from work. Okay. So I was like, let me just steal the DVD and then I'll watch it,
Yeah.
So I did that.
You're giving them your hard hours.
Yeah, so many hours.
Yeah, and being treated like shit probably.
Absolutely. I stole thousands of dollars of merchandise
yeah.
from Barnes and Noble, and I feel bad about none of it. Yeah. So I stole the first season on DVD and I watched it. And basically my takeaway was, oh, I like it, but it's funny that all these like
So you watched this on your own. This is an on your own thing?
Yeah. But I thought it was weird that all these classy rich people came in like thinking they're watching this like piece of high art, because to me it's so soapy. Like, you know how like the scenes are so quick and like you just move from one storyline to another, and all the storylines are just like rich with like drama and like over the top fucking emotion and stuff. And like, all it is Gossip Girl for classy people. It's like, it's so rich, classy people who like think they're highbrow and too smart for like real soaps can watch this, and this is their soap.
And you don't think it works for stupid people?
Yeah, I mean, I think stupid people could probably get into Downton Abbey, but I think like, but stupid people can get into anything. What I'm saying is that like rich people who would never consider watching Gossip Girl are sitting there watching something that's really not far off from Gossip Girl in terms of pacing and tone.
But
it's
made for them.
But it's made for them. Yeah.
Right. I see what you're saying.
Yeah, I always thought that was sort of fascinating.
Mm-hmm. It's good job, Julian Fellows. Way to market to a group of people.
Yeah, so then I got fucking into it, and then the second season came out, and it wasn't as good, but like by that point, I was in.
Yeah.
And it got better after
Is the first
that.
season the shortest? Is it like that?
No, they're all pretty short. it's like usually 8 episodes in a Christmas special.
Whoa, that's awesome. Are you serious?
Yeah.
What does that mean? Is that longer?
What do you mean?
The Christmas special. Is
Yeah,
that
the Christmas special is usually like 90 minutes or something.
Whoa, okay, that's interesting. I didn't know about that.
Yeah, in the first Christmas special, Daisy's husband has died and she thinks she's communicating with a ghost.
What? That's a weird Christmas special.
So bad, dude.
What's the best one? If I had to watch one this Christmas, which one should I watch?
Boy, I'd have to look at them. I'd have to
Okay.
look at the table.
All right.
It might be that one, honestly, but
First one?
yeah, but that storyline's bad.
That sounds crazy. Okay. I like Miss Patmore. She's cool.
Oh, sure.
Oh, should I scroll some of my notes?
Yeah, that's what I want to hear.
I don't really have
Patmore's
notes that way.
great. Patmore's great. She's like Daisy's mentor and shit. It's so
Very
funny.
sweet.
It's so funny how in the movies, like they spent 6 years on the show with all these characters, and by the end they pretty much like paired them off. Like they're romantically involved at the end of the show. So
Right.
like there's not much you can do. They're struggling. You can't do anything with any of the main characters. They almost have Mary cheat in the second one just so they can do anything with Mary. And so but like so it ends up being like you get love stories in these movies, but it's like Mrs. Patmore and Mr. Molesley, like the characters like they couldn't
Oh,
even
yeah,
be
Mr.
bothered
Molesley.
to do love stories with. Mr. Molesley is I cannot believe I am watching Mr. Molesley in 2 Downton Abbey movies because
Really?
this guy, he was
I like him.
he was Dan Stevens's butler. Like that was his part on the show. So it was like when Dan Stevens died in that car accident, I was like, well, I guess Mr. Mosley's gone. Like I didn't even think about it, you know. And then the next season, they like bring Mr. Molesley into like the downstairs crew, and I was like, really? Why would they keep the like? Aren't there enough characters on the show? Like, what is Mr. Molesley adding?
He probably had something
And
on a producer.
and now here he still is, and he's in the second movie, getting a storyline where he's getting engaged to Miss Baxter. Who's not
And
bad.
writing he's like the main hero of the second movie, basically.
And he has an enormous moment in that first movie where he has that interaction with the fucking queen,
Where he like sucks and can't talk.
where he's just like a pathetic loser.
Yeah. So that's mainly what this guy is in the show? A
Yeah,
loser?
he's a fucking pathetic loser.
So you don't like this guy?
I don't understand.
I thought you were supposed to, I thought you were he's like the hero of the show. You're supposed to like him.
You're totally supposed to like Mr. Molesley. It's just the kind of thing, like when he remained on the show after Dan Stevens died, I like never really understood it, and I never forgave him for still being there.
Wow. Very, very tough critic.
Yeah, sorry, Mr. Molesley. Also, I
I'm-
used to think his name was Mr. Mosley, and then I started watching this show with subtitles around like the 4th season, and I saw Mr. Molesley. Crazy.
Wow, it took you that long? And
Yeah.
does nobody say his name? Is he on screen that little, or are you just
Yeah,
like, oh,
no,
what's-
who gives a shit about this guy?
Wow. I didn't know he played such a little part.
Yeah,
Alright.
because he gets huge storylines in the movies because he's the only one left to do anything with.
All right, my first question: why is this guy, Stephen Campbell Moore, first billed on IMDb?
Because IMDb lists this movie by appearance. He's first on
seriously?
screen in the movie. Yeah,
Oh, I didn't realize that.
there you go. He's the
Okay.
one on that train. Remember?
No, I mean I do remember the train, but I don't.
There's a
remember him
long
being on
train.
it.
Yeah, there's a long train sequence, and they're setting up for the weird assassination thing later in the movie.
Mm-hmm.
Because the first movie, what I think they do that's smart, because like the seasons would take place over the course of like years sometimes.
Wow.
And then so for the movie, like you've already wrapped up everyone's storylines. You can't do too much with the characters. So let's try and just like focus on one problem. Like everybody's working on one thing, and let's keep it self-contained, where instead of over the course of years, it's taking place over just a couple days. And so basically the narrative thrust of the movie is the king and queen have sent word that they will be visiting Downton Abbey for one night. They will be having like one dinner there and sleeping over one night. I
Mhm.
don't really understand why, but you just accept it. Like, I guess it's history. That's what the king and queen fucking did
Well, I
sometimes.
think that's a cool idea that they're coming for one night. If the movie was like an hour 40 minutes,
Yeah, but there's just too many characters.
yeah.
I
But
I
then you like you
understand what
said
you're
they
I
leave.
understand what you're saying.
Yeah.
What do you mean they leave?
Well, you said like they leave, and then there's another like 30 minutes at the end of the
It's
movie
not
where
yeah, it's not that they leave. It's just that basically the drama is all surrounding the dinner service. Like, is the dinner service going to go off right because the fucking Downton Abbey staff has like formed a
they rebel.
rebellion? It's so ridiculous. They should all go to prison for this.
Really?
Yeah, it's insane. And so, like, will the dinner service go off right, and will the Downton Abbey staff get in trouble, basically? So then once the dinner goes off well, and the Downton Abbey staff like clearly is not getting in trouble, then all that's left literally is to be like, well, Maggie Smith is going to have that conversation with Michelle Dockery, and
Right.
then like
The
we just
husband's
do a
gonna
bunch
show
of
up.
yeah, we're gonna deal with like Thomas like being gay for a minute, which was that was a thing. Like, every so often we reckoned with Thomas's gayness on the show.
Who is you? You're that guy, right? You're the guy that's like always trying to get with the visitors.
I guess so. I mean, Thomas really was like the fucking Slytherin of the show. He was
Oh,
like the
really?
Draco Malfoy asshole, and he was a real heel. Like, he was a lascivious gay man. Like, it's the kind of thing where I feel like almost, due to like towards the end of the run of the show, as like homosexuality was starting to like be viewed a little more kindly in the eyes of the world. I feel like they kind of had Thomas face turn a little bit,
Wow.
and made him a little more sympathetic. Yeah,
All right.
because in these movies, like, he's a good guy. Like, Thomas is great in these movies. Actually, the shit with Dominic West in the second one's really good.
Yeah. Yeah. Dominic West is great in the second
I
movie.
couldn't believe it. How do you, if they do a third Downton Abbey movie, you can't have Thomas be in it? He's off somewhere getting fucked by Dominic West.
I'm sure they'll just say it
Definitely.
went wrong
By the way, Logan, definitely getting fucked, right? Not fucking.
with Dominic for sure.
Dominic West is on top, right?
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Um,
McNulty, baby. McNulty.
what do we think? What do we think about Andy in this movie? That
Who's
his whole
Andy?
he's the one that's with Daisy. He gets
Oh, that
jealous
guy.
of the
Oh my! I couldn't believe him getting jealous and breaking the water heater. That
So
was
lame.
insane. What a loser! And I couldn't believe Daisy. I mean, it just goes to show,
she's
like,
flattered.
the fact that she's flattered at the end of that movie. That would never happen today. Like, if I angrily broke a water heater at like a function that like my girlfriend was trying to run. I don't have a girlfriend right now, and I probably never will again. But but like, they would be furious. Like, women don't stand for that shit anymore. Like,
I would hope
dudes
she would be
flying off the
furious.
handle and just doing shit out of anger.
If I was with somebody and I did this and they were flattered by that, the next day when I'm rethinking what I did and what happened, I'd be like, why were they flattered? And then I would break up with them for being
Yeah.
flattered by that.
You'd feel like so much regret over what you did that it would make you think, like, what the fuck is she thinking?
Why is she okay with this? What is wrong with her? Yeah.
But I mean, like, what a bitch. Like, he gets jealous over this plumber showing up who's just like this random handsome plumber. By the way, the fact that they named the plumber Tony Selleck, which is like two steps away from Tom Selleck, is so genius, man. They should have named him Kurt Reynolds.
but Patmore was like into it. She was like, Daisy, you should cheat on Andy. Well, you should you like this guy. She was kind of pushing for it.
Well, Patmore's a little bit of a mischief maker, you know.
She seems like it.
I got news for you. Like, Patmore's gonna cheat on.
Oh my goodness!
On that random dude, you know, the farmer
he's random.
Guy.
I figured they probably knew each other.
No,
forever.
It's Daisy's. I told you, it's Daisy's dead. He's Daisy's dead husband's father, who supplies produce for Downton Abbey.
Okay. And they when they get married, they move to his farm or whatever.
I assume.
Okay. I had a question about.
Meanwhile, he had a wife at some point. I don't think we ever saw her die, but I guess we can assume she died.
Oh, yeah, I guess so. I thought So there's like a plot twist at some point, I guess. There
Oh, what's the plot twist?
or they play it like a plot twist or like a reveal or something that Umbridge, what's her name again?
Imelda Staunton.
Yeah, Lady Bagshaw. They play it like so she is the mother of
Oh, this is a big deal. Yeah.
Lucy.
Lucy, yeah, who's a new character in the movie. She's like the most major new character in this movie.
Oh, okay. Well, she doesn't really do too much except for marry that one guy, right?
Well, that's a huge deal because Tom has been a widower since the first season or the second season, maybe.
See, I didn't know
Yeah.
that. I just thought he was like the hot stud of Downton.
No, man, he's Sybil's guy. Like he
Oh.
Tom was like
Oh my
this.
goodness. It's all
Yeah.
making so much sense.
When the show started, Tom was the chauffeur at Downton Abbey, okay? And then like Sybil, Lady Sybil, is starting to think like, wow, this Irish chauffeur, I think I want to fuck this guy.
Yeah.
And Tom is like, well, that'll do right by me, boyo. And and so like that basically goes down. Like they fuck, and the family is like not supportive. It's huge drama. And he's also like a liberal. He's like a revolutionary kind of guy who's like anti like monarchy and shit. That's why like there's all those scenes in the first movie where that guy's like, "Hey, are you gonna like foil the plans?" And he's like, "No, I'm probably just gonna like let my family be all right."
Yeah.
Yeah. And so yeah, when Sybil died, they basically like took him in as like a son-in-law because like he has like their granddaughter and shit. And yeah, so he remained single for the entire run of the show, just like this sad widower. There's this great moment in the first movie actually where they show him like coming home from the pub, and they show like Hugh Bonneville,
yeah.
Lord Grantham, like notice him coming home from the pub, and he's like, God, has Tom been at the pub this whole time?
I didn't pick up on that that's what that meant.
Yeah, he's like just this bummer of a dude, like sort of haunting the Abbey. And so like that's a big deal. Like that is like the one thing they didn't do on the show that they probably should have gotten to. Get Tom a lady.
Were you satisfied with how it all played out?
Absolutely. I think they had good chem. I think this Tuppence is cute as hell. I think she can actually act. Yeah, I was happy to see them together. And when they were still together and still happy in the second movie, like they had some really nice scenes in that second movie.
Yeah, they're swimming.
The scene where they're like, yeah, where they're at the beach just like chatting.
Yeah, that was nice. He got a little fat between movies, right?
Did he?
I thought he did a little bit.
Not
Not fat, but it's like when people called Ozzy fat, you know? It's like that sort of thing.
Who's Ozzy?
Oh, it's from Survivor.
When did Ozzy get fat?
When he came back for Game Changers or whatever, everyone said Ozzy, a fat Ozzy. Or Fat JT, man. He did the same thing.
All that OnlyFans money.
This was before OnlyFans.
Paying for food.
Yeah, this was before that.
All right.
Did you think that he was going to cheat on her with the princess, the hot redhead lady?
Yeah, he goes to talk to the princess, and the show just didn't fuck with like history that much. Like they tried to keep history like as it played out, and so I didn't think they'd have Tom like fuck this real life historical figure. But when they did introduce her, like when they had that really nice scene with him like talking on that bench with her, I did kind of think they were maybe setting up a love triangle kind of a thing.
Yeah, but glad they didn't.
Where it's gonna be like Tom has to like choose this maid over the literal princess.
What if they did
right?
and this movie was 210? That would have sucked.
That'd still be fine.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been that into it. A love triangle? Another love triangle?
Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah.
We haven't talked about Anna.
Oh, well, Anna and Mr. Bates. Mr. Bates!
Yeah, that's her husband, right?
Yeah.
What is she doing? She's doing the dress, so she's blackmailing the dressmaker to make
like,
the dress.
Anna and Bates went through so much fucking drama on the show. They were like together and not together every 5 fucking minutes that I feel like in the movies, they're just leaving them alone. Like, let these two be happy off over there. I mean, Bates forms the rebellion in the first movie, so that's a thing.
Yeah.
But like, I mean, they don't have that much to do.
No, yeah, not really.
Yeah. They're ridiculous. Anna and Mr. Bates are two of my like favorite slash least favorite characters on the show because I often liked them as characters, but I often didn't like the shit they gave them to do. And one of the hardest I've ever laughed in my life, Logan. Like you know how you have like some memorable laughs where it's like I can't believe I laughed that
Sure.
hard. One of those for me is there's an episode of Downton Abbey where it's like they cut to like post coitus and you're like you don't it's down at their feet and you don't know who it is and it's like you hear them laughing and it's like ooh look at this a fucking hot like we're gonna do like a sexy scene in Downton Abbey. I got all pumped. I thought it was gonna be
Who
like
are you hoping for?
I was hoping Lady Mary
Yeah, sure.
or yeah, you know, and then
Maybe Daisy. What if it was Daisy? That'd
Daisy
be crazy.
would be all right, yeah. And then it pans up their whole bodies, and it's just in bed together, Mr. Bates and Anna.
Wow.
I was like, what the fuck?
Honestly, Imelda Staunton. Give me Imelda Staunton.
I agree, and I laughed. I just remember like at the reveal, like when it panned up and you see Bates and Anna's faces, I laughed so hard. I was on the ground.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. How obviously I haven't seen this show, but how you like her but don't like her story. Because I sort of got that in the movies. Like I really liked her. And I thought she was really fun and like quick and funny. But they didn't really give her anything to do.
The problem is Bates. Bates is dragging this lady down.
Oh, really?
He got accused of murder at one point. He was in prison for a season. It's
only
a mess.
Accused, though. They found him innocent.
Yeah, ultimately they did. Yeah.
Who did it? Who really killed him? Or her?
Who could be bothered?
Oh.
It was my least favorite storyline for multiple seasons in a row.
Okay. Well, sorry I asked.
It's okay. I'm over the trauma.
I think that's basically all I have in the first movie. Very fun.
Well, listen, I do want to say that Tom, they did cuck him a little bit.
Which one?
Tom,
which one though?
The Irish Tom.
Branson?
Yeah, Branson.
Okay.
Because he was like a bit of a revolutionary, and I was okay with him telling.
Is he your favorite character? You sound like you love this guy.
He's not my favorite character, but he's my MVP in this first movie.
Whoa. Okay.
Yeah, and
he saves the king from being shot, right?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, like that to me was a little much.
Oh, that he's like such a hero.
It's almost like it's a movie. Like it's Downton Abbey, the movie. So
really?
it happens like exactly halfway through the movie. I noticed that like the 55-minute mark, and it's almost like them saying, like Julian Fellows, like reading a screenplay book, going like, well, in a movie, halfway through, you do need a big action set piece.
Yeah,
and so you just have like Tom randomly foil an assassination attempt. And
was that Chetwood, by the way?
Yeah, it was.
Okay, I was wondering what that guy was doing the whole movie.
And then they never really bring it up again, like the entire rest of the movie. Like I was thinking they should give like Tom a fucking medal.
You're right, because I actually noticed that like the very next scene is like they're at a dinner or something, and there's an empty chair, and somebody looks at it, and I guess you're supposed to think like, oh, that's where Tom would sit, and then but that's like the only recognition of what just happened. The whole rest of the movie.
And Mary was there.
Right.
Mary saw the whole thing happen.
Yeah, you're right.
Like she should be like screaming Tom's names from the rafters. In fact, fuck Lucy. Maybe Mary turn on the charm.
Really?
A little those Sybil sloppy seconds.
I don't know. That's not cool.
Yeah. It's been 7 years.
Did they have a good relationship?
I think if like if your wife dies and she has a hot older sister and 7 years pass and she wants to fuck you, you can do it.
She has to make the first move.
She definitely has to make the first move. Yes.
Okay, I agree with you.
Yeah. And I think maybe you even have to go to your wife's gravestone and like deliver a sad speech before you go through with it.
Oh, before?
Yeah.
But then what if it doesn't happen and you like said everything for no reason? Like when Tom Brady fake retired?
All right, so yeah, you're not wrong. Maybe you could do it after it happens. Because like it's got to happen in the spur of the moment, right? It's got to
Yeah.
be like you're talking about your ex-wife, the emotions are charged, right?
Yeah, ask for
And
forgiveness, not permission. That's what they say, right? You'd rather
then you
do it
look
and then deal with the
you look in her
consequences.
face, you're like, you look so much like Lady Sybil. And
So is
then
Sybil Sibby's mom? I still didn't really understand that.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. So Tom Branson is Sibby's dad? So
Yes.
why isn't Sibby in these movies? I don't remember
Because who
seeing
wants a
Sibby.
fucking kid running around these
Because she
movies?
gets the
Wait, it's possible that
villa. Why?
it's possible that Sibby's Mary's daughter. I'm not sure.
But either way, Sibby's not in these, and she gets the villa, and she's like, I was like, who is Sibby? Why?
No, because she's a baby on the show.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Oh,
like no one needs fucking kids running around Downton
there are
Abbey.
lots of
That's
kids
why
though.
I know. Well, because they're
They
all
don't
paired
really
off
talk, but
now.
they
And
are.
in old times like this, if you married, you had kids generally.
Yeah, it's usually what people do.
It's always crazy to me in like old period pieces when like someone finds out they're pregnant and they like tell the dad, and the dad's always like, "My heart is bursting with joy," and it's like, dude, I just can't even imagine being that pumped.
So sometimes people are happy.
That's crazy. Who's happy about that?
I don't know. I wonder how Tim
I
reacted
guess
when he
people who were
found
like
out.
trying. Yeah, but like, I mean, he was pretty young when that first one
Is he like
happened.
my no? There's no way. The oldest is 10.
Look,
He wasn't that young.
my sister has twins, and like she adores those fucking kids, and I do too. But like, no one was happy when we found out.
Yeah, well, that's usually how. I feel like that's usually more how it goes,
Yeah,
especially not in 1910 or whatever.
yeah, for sure. Oh, so could we talk about Thomas? He attends a gay paradise in this movie. That was like mind blowing.
Oh, the bar. And then
Yeah,
the fucking police get called. That was a
it's
crazy
crazy. It's like
subplot.
we're not doing much with Thomas the entire movie. Like they bring Carson back to Butler for the King and Queen, and he kind of like throws a fit, and Hugh Bonneville has that great line where he's like, "I just never thought of Thomas as a man with principles before, because he used to be such a heel on the show, and now has turned face." Yeah,
I feel like I
added the
wouldn't
last
like
part.
that character that much. Robert. I feel like he would annoy me if I watched the show.
Grantham.
Is he Robert?
Yeah, he was sort of the most
Paddington's
concerned.
dad.
Yeah. Yeah, I've never seen those movies, but I am aware of that. But anyway, like they sort of belatedly remember Thomas exists like an hour and 15 minutes into the movie, and he is like hanging out at a bar, and like a dude comes up to him and is like, "Why don't you come with me?" And he's like, "I'm having a drink." And the dude's like,
Trust me, you're gonna want to come with me.
No, he goes, I think you know you want to come with me. And he's like, yeah, I fucking do. I want that butt. And so they get out of there and they go, and he takes him to this like gay nightclub.
It was like in Euphoria, right? It reminded me of Euphoria when the dad goes to the bar.
But it was even crazier than that, because it was like it seemed like it was like a hole in the wall. It was like Narnia almost. Like they enter a wardrobe, and then they out the back of it, it's like this wonderland of gayness.
Yeah, it's like I'm thinking of ending things. You remember that movie? Don't they go to
Yes.
like some weird like store in the middle of nowhere and order ice cream or something? It's like a weird shop.
I vaguely remember that.
Yeah, me too, because I turned it off after that. But
Great film.
I know you love it.
Get
Sorry.
the fuck out of here. I don't know. Yeah, or like you know what it reminded me of, like in Harry Potter when they're at the Quidditch World Cup,
Mhm.
and they open up that tent,
Mhm.
and it's like a whole giant apartment
Yeah.
in the tent.
Yeah, I get it.
That's what it seemed like. And so but everyone in there is gay
Yeah.
and dancing and shit.
Right.
And so then there's a raid. So much happens to Thomas in the last like 40
Yeah,
minutes
really.
of the movie.
It's happened so suddenly.
Yeah. And then he's in prison, and then one of the other guys at the gay wonderland was like a footman or something or the chauffeur for the king and queen.
Crazy.
And so he's able to spring Thomas from prison, and then they have a lovely gay kiss.
Lovely.
Beautiful.
Wait, does he? He doesn't kiss. Does he kiss Dominic West?
I don't believe we
I
do
didn't
ever
think
see him
so
kiss
either.
Dominic West, but it is heavily
Did
implied.
Dominic West say no, nope, 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 not doing it?
I don't. To me, Dominic West seems like the type of dude who would fucking kiss a dude for art.
I mean, I would hope so. It just seemed I didn't even think about it until right now when you said that. I realized they didn't kiss.
Yeah, I don't know, but maybe the director's a little more conservative too. I'll talk about him when we get to him, but he certainly does kiss in this film,
Definitely.
and like he's the
Someone almost catches
intention.
him too. I forgot who, but someone
He
walks by.
Oh yeah, that's right. But he ends up with Dominic West at the end of the second one, right? Because he
Like
says
for
Dominic
good.
West. I think so because Dominic West says to him like, "You can have me as little or as much as you want," which I think means like you can either be my butler or my husband.
Right, my butler.
Oh God! And Thomas's response is like, "I think I'd like quite a lot of you." That anal canal. And God, I'm so juvenile.
I don't think you were until I came on and started doing this with you.
Did you ruin me?
I think the Patreon did it because I think we got really comfortable with us being on the Patreon, just like talking about wrestling and not wrestling specifically, but just like whatever we wanted, and then it
Yeah, you
sort of
might be
carried
right.
over. But you were
No.
kind of like this before, but not as bad.
Okay. Well, I guess I can always go back and listen to the earlier episodes. Okay, so yeah, Maggie Smith hates Imelda Staunton's maid because she thinks she's like worming her way into the family, but then it turns out she is part of the family. She's Imelda Staunton's secret daughter.
Right. And I thought when she said that, I thought she had said Daisy. So like 10 minutes go by and I'm like, why haven't we really addressed that Daisy's her daughter? That's kind of crazy. And then I realized she said Lucy, not Daisy. You know, I was like, oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And then, like, do you like that Tom falls in love with her when he still thinks she's the maid?
I didn't think
But,
about that. It's like Anakin,
but
right? How
yeah, but she's
Anakin,
got like it's true. It is like fucking Anakin. It like Padme. She's Padme
the
in
handmaiden.
slave wear or whatever. And yeah, but she's got a whole inheritance. She's gonna get that villa or
I
something.
actually didn't realize that. Whenever I saw that, I was like, all right, so this guy's sneaking in. I didn't realize that he didn't even know at that point.
Yeah, dude, he was just sort of he got his start as a chauffeur. So he was just sort of he's like, I already got a place in this Downton Abbey. Like they let me just fucking sit here.
They seem to love
Could,
him.
well, because he gave them their granddaughter, you know, and
All
like he
right.
was a good man to their daughter who died and shit.
Yeah.
She died happy. And whatever. When I got bored of myself.
All right. Well, I will give this 3 stars,
Okay.
and it's like a high 3. Right? It's very good. I think. Pretty.
I'm glad you feel that way. I want to let you know that I gave this a 3 when this came out. And I read my review that I wrote on Letterboxd when it came out. And I can feel me sounding so jaded cuz I was
From the
still
show.
bored. I was still sick of the show. Like the show ends in 2016 and I'm happy about it ending, right? And then it's only 3 years later this movie comes out. I'm like, why are we doing a movie? So I watched it and it's like, all right, yeah, there's the characters for another 2 hours. Fine. And I gave it a 3. Now I've got enough distance from this baby and I viewed it more as like an addendum to the show, as its own thing. I'm loving this movie. I'm
And
giving it
you're excited for the second one, which probably helped.
exactly. Yeah.
And this is
Yeah.
the first franchise you've picked in forever, which probably also
Yes.
helped.
Yes, and what freedom. It felt I felt so free watching these movies that I actually wanted to be watching.
Yeah, I understand.
And so I'm going to give this first Downton Abbey movie a 4.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And you seemed, I don't want to spoil anything, but you kind of seemed like you maybe like the second one more than the first one. So I guess we'll see.
No, I
Oh,
like the
okay.
first one more actually.
Okay.
My MVP is Tom.
Which one? Branson?
The Irish one, yes.
Oh yeah, you already said that earlier. Okay, all right. That makes sense. I didn't know his whole backstory with everything, so I guess that didn't really hit as hard for me. That he was like never married again after his first time.
Sure.
I thought he was just like this hot guy that like no, he's like found a hot lady.
Yeah, he is the hunkiest guy, I think, living at Downton Abbey.
Yeah,
Unless
except
you
for Mr.
count, I get
Mason,
who's Mr. Mason?
the one that Mrs. Patmore is into.
Oh, that guy. No, I mean
Well, he
Thomas is
doesn't live
pretty
there.
hunky.
Which one?
Thomas,
They're
the
both
gay fella.
Thomas.
Both Toms, I would say. Both of the hunkiest two on the show are the
What about
Toms.
Carson? He's pretty hunky.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he might be third. I'll take Carson over Bates. Fucking
Oh, me
Anna
too, for sure.
Anna went for the wrong one.
Yeah, Carson over Bates every day.
Yeah.
Andy's tall. That's good.
Andy?
He's the one that's
Oh,
with
you
Daisy.
keep bringing. Yeah, I know. I keep forgetting that dude exists because they just brought him on because like they needed Daisy to end up because Daisy was such a fucking pathetic character
Aw.
that like you needed her to end
She's
up
very
with somebody.
like her voice is very sweet. I really like her.
Daisy.
I really like her.
It's me,
and
Daisy.
Mrs. Patmore. I like their dynamic. It's very cute. I'm sure that's a
they're
big thing on the
adorable
show.
together. Huge.
Yeah, I'm sure. All right. My MVP is Imelda Staunton. I think she's great in this first movie.
Yeah, and you seem pretty into it.
I was very into it. Yeah, 3 years younger
All
than
right.
she was now too.
Yeah. Who's your LVP?
Andy. The whole jealousy
Andy.
stuff. None
Oh,
of it worked for
totally,
me.
yeah.
It was so stupid.
MVP Tony Selleck, LVP Andy.
No, I can't do that.
Okay.
Michael Fox, by the way, this guy's name is
Who? Andy?
Andy. Yeah.
He is a fox. Don't you think so?
No. But isn't that crazy? Michael, how did he get Michael Fox? But then Michael J. Fox had to be Michael J. Fox.
Good point.
How does that make sense?
Yeah, maybe that original Michael Fox. Well, this guy's he's British. Like Michael J. Fox had to add the J to join the Screen Actors Guild, whereas like these British actors, I'm not sure they have to be in that guild.
That's interesting. Okay, that's fair.
Yeah.
All right, that probably happened.
Hey, best line of the movie. I'll say that like Julian Fellows' writing used to be so much sharper. If you watch like Gosford Park in the first season of Downton Abbey, like the dialogue is really, really sharp and clever. And I thought the best line of the first movie was, and I don't know if he came up with it. It might just be a fucking cliche that I've never heard before. But I like someone gives Maggie Smith shit for arguing too much, and Maggie Smith goes, "I never argue, I explain."
That's good.
I thought that was brilliant, man. That's how I feel.
I'm surprised that Maggie Smith lived between the movies. Like she looks like she's about to die in the first movie, and she's
Every day that I wake up and I don't see a death announcement about Maggie Smith, I'm surprised.
yeah. But I'm rooting for her hardcore. She's not even that
I hope
old.
she's
right?
immortal. I have no idea.
she was in her
looks
80s
fucking
when I
ancient,
looked.
dude. Really?
Maybe I'm wrong.
She looks upper 90s.
Yeah, she does. She looks like 95 at least.
She's born in 1934. Like, that's only 14 years older than my dad. Like, that's not that old. She looks too old.
She does. Why is that? Maybe put makeup on her?
I don't know. Maybe they make her look a little older, especially in the second
She's a
one.
good actor.
Yeah. You get that picture of her when she was, like, looking young and tight, too.
Well, I think it's like more a painting. I don't think it's like a real photo.
Yeah, but that is how she looked. Like, I mean, I've seen movies with her back then.
From 1920?
Not from fucking 19. I just mean when she was that age. That's how she looked.
Yeah. Young and tight.
Who do you think can play her on Gilded Age, bro?
Nobody.
No, I think you can find
Anya
somebody.
Taylor-Joy.
That's so good, by the way. That's the answer.
She's got like big eyes. Doesn't Maggie Smith have big eyes?
Her bone structure is sort of Maggie Smithy.
Yeah. I've never seen the Gilded Age, but
Dude, she'd fit right the fuck in.
all right. Is she British? She is, right?
ATJ? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think so too.
I always assumed so.
Yeah.
All right. Anyway, second movie.
Who'd you say your
Let's get
LVP
into it.
was?
Oh, Mr. Mosley, just this little pathetic bitch.
But not in the second movie, right?
No, not in the second movie. He gets married.
I was gonna say who is you for both you and Tim, because you are Tom Barrow, the one that like fucks all the guys that
I'm
come
the gay
there.
one. Yeah,
And
sure.
then Tim, I was gonna say was Molesley, but then you like shit all over Molesley, so I didn't want to do that.
Tim. Oh, what an insult.
No.
You can't call someone
But I like
Molesley.
Molesley. That's not an insult from me. That's an insult from
That
you.
is an insult,
No, I
man.
like Molesley.
That's like watching Friends with someone and they'll go like, "Which friend am I?" And you'd be like, "Gunther."
Well, he's not a friend. It doesn't even count.
Yeah, that's why it's an insult, man.
No, Molesley rules.
Can't say no. He doesn't rule, man. If Tim is one of them, I'll think about it. He's definitely not fucking Molesley.
But in the second movie, he like gets his big break. You weren't excited for
His
that?
big break. He does. He literally. It's so fucking crazy that Mr. Molesley, a character who I was certain they should write out in like season 3, is here in the second Downton Abbey movie with a whole love story arc and gets to like retire a rich screenwriter in Hollywood.
Yeah, in contention for the MVP.
I wouldn't go that far.
Well, I would.
All right. So Julian Fellows is back to write. He's one of these guys that like doesn't even bother with the writing staff. He just writes every fucking episode of the show. So he was of course going to write the movies. And we have a new director. Michael Engler was actually busy. Julian, he didn't direct a lot of Downton Abbey, but Julian Fellows is obsessed with that Engler guy now. He directed that movie that Fellows wrote, and he's now doing Gilded Age. So Gilded Age was being made at the same time this was being made. This is like pre-pandemic, by the way. And so Engler was, I guess, involved with that. And so we get a different director. And this must have seemed like an upgrade. They have a bigger budget and a more established film director. But to me, it is a huge fucking downgrade because the new director is Simon Curtis. And this guy is the biggest fucking hack. I usually avoid his movies. I avoid his movies like the plague, man. His first movie was My Week with Marilyn, which is like a not bad script and with like a good lead performance by Michelle Williams. And the movie
She plays Marilyn
sucks.
Monroe?
Yeah, she sure does.
Oh.
And the movie just sucks because of this guy's direction. It's just a soft fucking movie.
Soft.
I got New York
very, yeah.
It sucks. And he's done this. I haven't seen this stuff since, but like I've followed this guy's career. He did Woman in Gold.
Can I tell you? When I saw his name, I thought it was Richard Curtis. I thought it was
the Love Actually guy. I did too, and that would have been way better.
Yeah, I was excited.
But no, it's Simon Curtis. So Woman in Gold, I don't know much about it. Helen Mirren's in it. But he followed that with Goodbye Christopher Robin, which is this like shitty looking movie where like it's about the dude who wrote Winnie the Pooh.
Yeah, I thought you liked that one, but then I realized you liked the other one.
I like just straight up Christopher Robin. Right. Not Goodbye. Hello. Hello to you, Christopher Robin.
Didn't somebody else make that? I feel like somebody else made that.
Ewan McGregor is in it. Alex Ross Perry wrote the script.
That's what I'm thinking of, I think.
I don't remember who directed it.
I think that's what I'm thinking of.
Okay. And then he followed that movie up, Logan, with The Art of Racing in the Rain, which I frequently rip on this show because it is about a dog with the voice of Kevin Costner.
Who drives a race car.
Yeah, and it's like a really serious, emotional film.
You think he wins the race at the end? That would kind of be crazy if he loses.
Simon Curtis is like one of the only Oscar bait directors where like the Oscars are even like, we don't want anything to do with you, dude.
Yeah, good. I don't really know this guy.
Yeah, he sucks.
Well, I'd like to keep it that way.
Well, me too, but I guess I had to watch one of his movies because he did this second Downton Abbey movie. I hope if they make a third, he stays the fuck out of it.
Yeah, but it was fun. He didn't ruin it.
No, he didn't ruin it. You can't ruin these. But I will say that like I didn't like it how it looked as much. I thought the cinematography looked softer. Everything was focused a little worse. I don't know.
Really?
Just the staging was more boring. Michael Engler, like,
I kind of liked it. Like when they were shooting the movie, I was sort of into that stuff. I was like, this looks cool.
but to me, the first movie made an effort to like make the show. It looked like the show, but more cinematic. Whereas this movie just looked like a flat movie.
But they're in France in one half and shooting a movie in the other half. There's not a lot of like classic Downton stuff. That's not really his fault. That's more like just that's what the movie is.
What are you talking about? But all the movie stuff is being shot at Downton Abbey.
Yeah, but there's always like crazy like scene stuff with casinos. There's always like crazy backdrops.
I get. You think that's what I was reacting to?
Yeah,
It
I
just
think you
like
couldn't
felt.
separate it in your mind. You didn't really
You
get
might
it.
be right, Logan. That's a fair criticism of my
Oh.
criticisms.
Wow, I thought you'd really be mad at that.
No, wait. You see, you were trying to piss me off.
No,
I
no, no,
feel
no.
like you antagonize me. Like
No, I
sometimes you
don't.
antagonize me and it backfires just because like I'm not an asshole.
No, I just say how I think and how I feel, and sometimes I think like, oh, he's not gonna like that. I don't say anything to try and make you upset or anything.
All right, but don't walk on eggshells around me either, bro.
No, I don't. I definitely don't.
Good, good.
That's
Glad to hear
my
it.
favorite thing about doing this. I feel like I can I don't have to do that.
Love it.
Not my favorite
right.
thing, but I enjoy that.
What's your favorite thing?
Watching these movies, bro.
That's
don't
not
know.
the all that pussy you're getting from it.
Yeah, all that popularity. The stardom.
Yeah. All right. So yeah, Curtis, he's directing. The movie came out May 20th of this year on a budget of $40 million. By the way, double the budget of the first movie. They got to keep
Wow.
these budgets down. What are you spending money on? You
They had to go to
shit.
France, I guess.
Yeah, don't bother.
Yeah.
We don't need it.
It's where they go to France in the COVID movie. That's the one they take a trip in.
Yeah, but it's all shot like outside and stuff. And it separates the actors. I wonder if maybe
Oh.
some of the actors were in France.
The ones that were not vaccinated were in France, and the ones that were stayed at Downton.
Yeah. Oh boy. Who was that? Who was in France? I don't remember.
All right. The man, Robert, and his wife.
Right. Yeah, Bonneville.
Edith
I
and
would
her
guess.
husband.
I gotta say, if anyone in this cast isn't vaccinated, I would say maybe Bonneville would be it.
I would agree with that, yeah.
He just looks like he might be on the conservative side.
I agree with him. We've learned definitely not Tom Branson. Definitely
Well,
not that
the
guy.
character, definitely not. Yeah, I have no idea about the actor.
No, I agree with you. Bonneville would be my pick too. If we were doing
What
a
is
draft.
I mean, has that actor ever been in anything? Tom Branson. He looks sort of like an Irish version of that the Kingsman guy.
Oh yeah,
Taron Egerton, doesn't he?
yeah, Rocket Man himself.
He looks a little like that guy, doesn't he? Like older.
I can see that, and fatter, right?
Hey, stop calling Tom
I'm
fat.
kidding. I'm kidding.
What a little
Come on the
jerk.
show, Tom.
Come on the show.
Yeah,
Oh.
come on the podcast.
Yeah.
You-
Oh, he
you-
was in Bohemian Rhapsody.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I guess he's doing all right.
All right.
And The Imitation Game.
Which one is that? Benedict Cumberbatch?
Yeah, it's like him doing math.
But he's gay, right? And they were like, we're pissed about that.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I think it's like one of those movies.
Yeah. All movies are those.
And then they made him
movies now.
Doctor Strange after that, I think.
Right after that, they were like, all right, this gay mathematician
This is Steven. We found him.
seems about right to me.
Yeah.
Hey, he's been pretty good. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't sure at first, but now when I read comics and Doctor Strange shows up, I read him as Benedict Cumberbatch.
Yeah, he's good. Yeah, he's fine.
Yeah. I even, you know what's wild? Is like now when I read Doctor Strange comics, he has a shaky accent.
You know what's funny? You know what I think about a lot with him? You saw the Between Two Ferns, the movie, right?
Of course I did.
I like the joke in that where Zach Galifianakis says, do you think if you weren't British, people would realize that you're a bad actor?
Yeah.
Yeah, he really gets him.
I got, and there was a moment where a moment of realization on Benedict Cumberbatch's face where he realizes what Galifianakis said, where you can tell he kind of knows it's true.
But then he realized also that's not reality. Who cares about that?
Yeah, that's
I
true.
do have a lot
He's
of money, and I am a famous
I mean,
actor.
yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch must have hated himself growing up, right? Because for
Why?
being like a scrawny little weasel-looking guy named Benedict Cumberbatch. But then when he was an adult, he must have looked at himself in the mirror, realized, I'm a scrawny little weasel guy named Benedict Cumberbatch.
I'm
There's
gonna be
money in
Smaug one
that.
day.
Yeah.
Isn't there a guy? You ever see Ted Lasso?
No, actually.
Oh, okay. I've never seen that show either, but I think there's somebody on that show, like a baseball player whose name is Bumbercatch. It's not baseball; it's soccer, right? I think his name is
Yeah,
Bumbercatch,
football,
though.
football.
Sorry, yeah,
Yeah, because it's British.
right.
I gotta watch that. People tell me. I'm sure I'd like it. I
Wait,
like
does he
Jason
play
Sudeikis.
somebody who's British?
Who, Sudeikis?
Yeah, I actually didn't even
No,
think
no,
about that.
I believe that he is an American coach who is going to England to coach a British soccer team. So he's like the
Why?
one
Do we know why?
American.
You
No,
gotta
I
watch the
don't.
show.
I'm yeah. I guess you gotta watch that pilot, baby.
Okay, all right.
But you gotta believe.
Everyone loves
See,
it.
see people post that gif.
He's like the guy from the Amazon Survivor Amazon, right? Butch was that Butch? He had that "Believe in Yourself" banner.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
He was a teacher, right?
Butch was great. What a great
Yeah,
character.
shout out, and then he burned the camp down. Shout out to you, Butch.
Absolutely. Shout out to Butch. What a season.
Yeah, it's a good season.
Matt Von
Ertfelder.
What's it? Yeah, love that guy.
Yeah.
God damn.
All right.
Very misogynistic season, but
Yeah.
pretty fun.
Can I say something that I was going to bring up in the first movie? I thought it was interesting that I don't know if there are different rules for England, but that these are like PG movies. Not that there's anything crazy, but just that they're like very adult and mature. It was just weird seeing like the PG.
Yeah, I noticed that too. And I wonder if it's just because like they kept it to like the standards of television. Like a lot of times when TV shows go film, and not a lot of TV shows do, not that many do. And usually the ones that do are the ones that like end sort of before their time. And so there's like more story to tell.
Yeah.
Like this is weird. This is like Sex in the City, where like there's really no more story to tell, but there's enough demand that like I guess let's make some movies. But usually when that happens, like the X-Files was a show on the Fox network, and then in the movies, like part of the draw is like you get to see Mulder say fuck.
Wow. I'm sure that
And
was
it's
huge.
like, wow. It is huge, dude. I watched the Challenge USA this week on Paramount Plus, Logan,
Mhm.
and it's uncensored on Paramount Plus. And Tyson said fuck, and I lost my shit.
Oh, I watched it live, so I did not get to see that.
Yeah.
Damn, I didn't even think about that.
Unbelievable. Save it for fucking streaming next week.
So somebody actually said something in I think that's the moment. I think Tyson says something in a confessional, and I was like, does he not realize that this isn't the All Stars version, that you can't do that? And then but I guess you're right. It goes on the Paramount Plus, and I guess they uncensor
It's awesome. Yeah.
it. Yeah. All right.
So like it's exciting when someone you hear them like speak with TV standards for years, and then all of a sudden they can speak with movie standards. But they didn't really change anything in Downton Abbey. Like, I wouldn't have minded if we got to see like, Daisy's bosom. Or something.
What channel does it come on? Did you say the BBC? Is that what you said?
What?
Did you say what channel this usually comes on?
Yeah, it was BBC America or actually in American television it was on PBS.
Is that like
I remember in the early seasons, Laura Linney would introduce the episodes. Like tonight on Masterpiece is another episode of Downton Abbey.
Wow.
It was really weird.
that was like her job?
Yeah, I guess she was like the official spokesperson
Oh my
for
goodness.
PBS at the time.
I didn't know about that.
Yeah,
All right. Shout out Laura Linney. I think she's in Love Actually, right?
absolutely.
Yeah.
Double L, L.A. All right. So this movie, so far it's done all right. It 90.
So far, I mean, it's done, right? It came out
Yeah.
2 months ago.
$90.1 million, which is far less than the first one, but they also like gave it like a streaming date real fast. Like it's already out on Peacock.
Oh, I
So
wanted
I
to
don't
say
know.
at the start of this, shout out to Tim. I watched this on Tim's Peacock account. I don't even think he knows about that. But shout out to you, Tim.
I canceled my Peacock account this week.
So what'd you do?
Well, it's still like good for another couple weeks or
Oh,
something.
okay.
But I got so mad, dude. I was watching the movie Blended with Adam Sandler,
Yeah.
and
And Drew Barrymore. Come on, don't slight Drew
and
Barrymore.
no, you're absolutely right. That was a two-hander.
Yeah.
And so
That's their
like
trilogy. They completed their trilogy.
I get like 20 minutes into the movie, I'm watching a commercial. All right,
Yeah.
I paid $10 a month
Yeah, come on.
for the Peacock Premium Plus. It's not even Peacock Premium.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I'm paying for Peacock Premium Plus.
And it's not just Peacock Plus, it's Peacock Premium Plus. Like either way
Right.
you slice it. That's double
ad-free
positive
tier.
things.
So I get on the internet, okay, and I go to the Peacock website and I go to the help chat.
Yeah.
All right. And I start chatting with somebody and I say, "What is the deal? I'm a Peacock Premium Plus member and I'm watching a commercial right now."
You
And
realize the commercial's done when you're doing this, right?
I paused the movie to do this. Yeah. And I said, "What the hell, man?" I didn't swear. I was so nice. I'm like I realize you catch more flies with honey with these people.
Yeah.
And so I was like, "What is going on?" And she said, "Well, because due to streaming rights, certain titles have ads." And I was like, okay, that's fair. I know that that's true of Hulu. And on the Hulu website, you can actually look at a list of all of the shit that has ads, right? The only thing I watch on Hulu that has ads is Grey's Anatomy, and they only show one ad at the beginning of the episode and one ad at the end of the episode.
Would you watch the ad at the end of the episode?
No, of course not.
Is it like before previews for next episode?
No, it's after the credits.
What the hell?
So no one has ever watched that ad.
Yeah.
All right. So I say, "Well, all right. Can you show me the list of the stuff that has ads?" The lady says, "Oh, we don't have a list." And I said, "Well, that's unethical. That's a scam. You have me paying a certain amount of money a month for an ad-free tier, and if you don't have a list, then you can just throw ads on anything.
Any willy-nilly, anywhere you want to.
Yeah." And
what if the list was just the show you're watching? That'd be hilarious.
I know. Just the movie Blended.
In like the tiniest font. You have to like really look at it and just says Blended.
Yeah, and so I was like, "Hey, lady, cancel my account."
Wow. That quick.
Yeah, that's right. Fuck it. And it felt so good.
And then until you realize you couldn't watch it anymore.
No, it still works for like another couple weeks.
What are you gonna do about wrestling?
I'll probably use Tim's account.
Yeah, Tim comes in so clutch.
It's true. Hey, I'll let you guys use shit too, so whatever. I don't feel too bad.
You know.
All right. So the movie's currently sitting at number 21 at the American box office.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, not bad. Between Death on the Nile and The Northman.
That's what they should get Kenneth Branagh to make one of these movies. He would knock it out of the park.
He'd be perfect. And show up in it.
Yeah, he could be Mr. Carson.
No, man. He should be like some like handsome dude who's like trying to steal Cora away from Hugh Bonneville.
Whoa,
or some shit.
That's good.
That would be pretty baller.
Yeah.
All right. So this movie, it opens up straight up Tom's getting married. And I'm like, God bless it. Absolutely start the movie that way. Sure.
Yeah.
As a fan, I'm pleased. And look, these movies are largely fan service. You know, giving Thomas a fucking gay happy ending, it's ridiculous. It would never happen. With a fucking movie star, it's outrageous.
Come on, why?
Come on. But, you know, it's fan service, and this fan felt serviced by it.
Yeah.
Okay?
I wasn't a fan, but I felt serviced.
Great. And I felt very serviced by getting to see Tom marry Lucy with Sibby looking on all happy.
Oh, is that the daughter? The daughter?
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't see the daughter.
Yeah, she was there at the wedding.
Oh.
She's like a flower girl or some shit.
Okay.
What are you gonna do? And then everyone was in attendance. The crazy thing about the wedding is there's no excuse that Lily James isn't there.
Yeah, it made me sad.
Yeah, like that. You can justify Lily James not being in the first movie.
Who is she exactly? Who is she? Is she related to any of these people or anything? Was she
I
married
gotta
to
be
somebody?
honest, I don't really remember. I think she's like their first cousin.
I saw her last name, and it wasn't any of these people's last names, but I don't remember what it was.
I think she's their first cousin, and she comes to live with them for like 2 seasons. Lady Rose.
Right.
It was sort of like they killed off Sybil, and then it's like, who do we have left? It's Mary, who's like getting a little long in the tooth.
Anna. You got Anna.
All right. No, but I mean like of the ladies
Oh.
of the house, you know? And then it's like Edith. Like she's not really a sexual being.
Oh, come on. She's changing the whole first movie. She's just
No,
taking that dress off.
she becomes a sexual being, I think, in the movies.
Oh, really?
But she was always like dressed down. She was just like, men hate me and I'm just trying to be a journalist. That was like a lot of her role on the show. So it was like, we need a sexy lady on this show. So they brought in like, it's a cousin.
What about Mary?
Yeah, I mean, Mary, she was the sexy lady of the show,
Yeah.
of course. I think they wanted Sybil. Sybil was the youngest sister, and I think they wanted like a young one, like to represent.
Why'd they
the
kill her
youth
off
movement. Sybil?
Yeah.
Well, I think they killed her off when they thought the thing was still gonna be a fucking miniseries.
Oh, that was in the first season.
Yeah, either first or second. Like, I just don't think they thought at that point the show was gonna run fucking 6 years and 2 movies.
Right. Well, definitely not. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So Tom's married. Very exciting.
Yeah.
There's a film shooting at Downton. Okay. Why would a film be shooting at Downton? Of course,
because it's
Earl-
beautiful. Come on.
No, but all I'm saying is Lord Grantham and Maggie Smith would never accept this. They would never accept.
Which one's Lord Grantham?
Hugh Bonneville.
Oh, okay.
And we sort of get away with it by like randomly going up to the attic, which we've literally never seen before on the show, and showing that there's like some leaks in the roof.
Yeah.
So I guess like we need money.
It seemed like a lot of money.
Abby's low on money. It's insane. But Maggie Smith seemed on board with it, and she gets.
Why
Hugh
wouldn't they
Bonneville
let
on
them
board
make
with
the
it.
movie? Do you think?
Because they're conservative and they believe in tradition and movie. Like they're so traditional on the show that I remember like when they first wanted to get a telephone, Maggie Smith was like, "We don't need one of
Oh
those
my
dental
God.
boxes." Yeah, it was ridiculous.
Come on.
Yeah.
So they just wouldn't want like all these hot movie stars walking around
exactly
their place
like it's just not the way of Downton.
doing coke off the counters.
Totally. Having gay fornication.
Right. Well, she shouldn't have hired freaking the one guy who's doing it with all the guys.
Well, nobody knows that dude's gay except for like Mrs. Hughes.
Yeah, she knew.
Yeah, and then he fucking tells Mary at the end of the movie, which shocked me.
Oh, did he? I didn't even realize that.
I mean, he implies it to Mary. He says to Mary when he's like handing in his notice, like, I think this is the only way I'll be able to live an honest life.
Oh.
And Mary looks at him and goes, understood.
Interesting. So it definitely implied then.
Yeah. And like, I don't know. To me, like, Mary's going to immediately run off and tell everyone Thomas is gay.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, now they won't do that storyline because of wokeness, but like, if like the Mary of the show would do that.
Oh, she's like evil?
Not evil, but like just has no tact.
Oh, okay. I thought she was pretty cool in these.
Yeah, I know, because they've settled the character and she's got to be they're trying to set her up to be like the next Maggie Smith, where it's like she has like a sharp tongue, but she's so amazing at heart.
It sucked like all her other conversations was just like, yeah, my husband's not coming back again. I got another letter. He's not coming back.
So they set her up with a love interest in this movie. Like the director of the movie is like into Mary, and she's sort of into him too. And that was Hugh Dancy from Hannibal. By the way, looking pretty scrawny these days.
Oh yeah,
I feel like fucking Dockery would break this dude. He's looking real wiry. But anyway, he's a great actor. Yeah, I love him from Hannibal.
Sure.
Did I say that already?
You said he was from Hannibal. You didn't say you
Yeah,
loved him from Hannibal.
that's really all I think about when it comes to him. But he's been in like a lot of shit. He's a good actor. Anyway, um, where do we go? Yeah, so that's a question that we're gonna deal with. Is Mary gonna cheat? Ultimately, the answer is no. Like it,
She
it
does say she was
comes.
tempted at one point, though.
I know, but it comes to the big scene where he's like, "Can I kiss you?" And she's just like, "No."
Yeah.
And I was like, "All right, I guess that
There
storyline's
is like a
done."
lot of like build up in these things, and then it's just like like deflated pretty quickly.
Because they can't really do anything in these movies. Like it's wrapped up. All this, they're not going to change any of the happy
And like
endings
the
that.
Robert thing, where it's like, is his dad really his dad? And then it's like, yeah, he is. There's not a
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. I thought that was going to be a big, like, to me, like that would have been the biggest thing that would have happened in any of these movies. But no, it's just like, yeah.
Yeah. By the way, Maggie Smith. I don't know. Do you think? I mean, what do you think happened that week or that night or whatever? Like, how did they
I
not
think
get
it,
it on? And this guy gave her this whole villa island place.
I think it's like from this time though, like she was the love of his life, right? More than his wife, which is fucking weird, but
That is
like
weird.
that's just the case.
Why do people get married if they like have that realization and that thought in their head? You know?
Because that was the thing to do back then. You had to get married when you were in like society like that. And so like if the love of your life was just like, no, I'm more into like this other dude, you've got to marry somebody.
But you're a person that's like alive in the world. Do you think if you were alive back then, you would just like follow into that?
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe yes, because like even now, like only 15 years later, I'm like, why the fuck did I go to college? I only went to college because like they told you after high school, next you go to college.
Right.
And I just did. I didn't want to go.
Yeah. No, you're right.
So like, yeah, I think maybe I would have like gone with something like that. Who knows? What are some of the other big questions of the
Well,
film?
I thought one thing that didn't really make a lot of sense to me was they say that like what's the guy's name? One of the Toms, the one that's not gay, the one that married the woman,
Tom.
Tom Branson. He and his wife have to go to France with them, and then they're like, oh, but also Imelda Staunton is like staying with them, so she has to come too. But I didn't know why she had to come if just because she's staying with them. That didn't really. It's just like to get her in the movie. I get, but
Yeah,
it
yeah.
seemed lazy to me.
Yeah, I agree.
All right, so I can't give her my
Yeah,
MVP in this
I
movie.
can't correct you on that. You're right. That was just lazy writing.
That was like the worst part of the movie where I was like, come on. Not the worst part, but the biggest problem I had kind of.
Yeah. The France
It
stuff
didn't
I was sort
matter.
of hot and cold on.
Really? Yeah, me
Yeah.
too actually. I was way more into
Although
the movie.
I like the two bits I liked in France. The only two bits were the scene with Bonneville and the dude who thinks he's his brother,
Yeah.
and the scene with Tom and Lucy on the beach.
Yeah, that's really those are the highlights. That's pretty weak. I didn't realize
I
that.
agree. Yeah, that's the weakest section of film. That's why you gotta keep these things at Downton. You know, in a lot of the Christmas specials, they would have them like go on a holiday somewhere,
Mhm.
and like I never preferred that. I want to get them back to that Abbey, baby.
But I always like in Full House where they're not like at the house for a lot of the episode.
No, I agree. I'm not saying this is like uniformly true of every show. Like some shows handle vacations and shit really well. You know what show is good at that? The Middle.
Yeah, actually I'm looking at my MVP. I have 3 people written down and all 3 stay at Downton.
Yeah, I'm telling you, man. But I just think Downton Abbey works the best when you're at Downton as much as possible. Even when Lily James was on the show and she was like bringing some youth and like hanging out with like a black jazz musician at some like nightclubs, it just didn't feel like the fucking show. Like this show needs to be like a bunch of stiff ass white folks walking around this abbey.
Right. I agree.
Upstairs, we should only be ever looking at upstairs and downstairs. That's it.
Upstairs and downstairs. But by the way, I had I was gonna come on here, and the first thing my joke I was gonna say was that I thought Downton Abbey was a person, but it turns out Downton Abbey is not a person. Thought that'd be a great joke. Great
What?
Logan is dumb joke.
Oh yeah, like Downton Abbey.
Yeah, Abbey is like the name of a person.
Yeah, she gives a lot of blowjobs.
What?
She goes Downton.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, she's like a really classy British lady who gives blowjobs all the time. Downton Abbey.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, it's a good character. It's my new character.
Um,
I'm gonna pitch it to Team Skeet.
is that what it's called?
I don't know. I was just trying to think of the name of any porn studio.
You know, I can't tell you that's right or wrong.
There's one called that. Yeah.
Yeah, you might be right. All right, Mary does a lot. She just starts doing like voiceover shit in this movie.
That is crazy. Yeah, because they're doing this one thing that's basically the plot of Singing in the Rain, where the fucking lead actress of the movie. So halfway through filming, they realize like talkies are making way more money than fucking silent films, and so they turn the silent film into a talkie. With Dominic West, no problem. Guy's got a great voice, as Thomas tells him in a great flirty way, and but with the lady, this like beautiful actress lady. What's the actress's name? Because she was pretty good actually.
I don't know.
Try to look it up.
I will.
But she has a horrible Cockney accent, and she can't really do the posh voice that's needed for the film, and so
Laura
yeah,
Haddock.
haddock.
Laura
That's
Haddock.
a type of fish, isn't it?
Sure.
Yeah.
She's in. She plays Peter Quill's mother. It looks like.
Oh, and like
Meredith
the
Quill.
scenes where he's like a kid at the beginning of Guardians.
If that is Meredith Quill, I assume it is. Yeah.
I think it is. Yeah, those are good scenes.
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, next time I watch that, I'll be like, "Hey, it's that lady."
I'm sure you know her from lots of stuff, but no, she's actually
Anyway.
not too much.
But yeah, so she's got a Cockney accent, so she has to just mouth the lines, and they realize Lady Mary. Well, she's got the perfect voice for this job.
Right.
So it's so crazy that everybody at the fucking Abbey becomes part of the show. The fucking servant class becomes the extras in the movie, and Mr. Molesley's the fucking screenwriter. And then Lady Mary is doing voiceover over the lead actress. It's crazy.
Yeah, she does a killer job too. Saves the whole movie.
She really does. Yeah. I mean, Doc Reed does have a good voice. I was actually thinking about it. I was watching this show she was in recently called Anatomy of a Scandal, and it was kind of a bad show. So, like, you have time to think about things like, wow, what a beautiful voice she has. She's a great speaking voice.
It's probably so easy doing one of these shows though, where like everything is so like acty, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
And when you're already like so beautiful and you're like your whole job is just to, like look very pretty and put on this like very proper voice. I'm sure that's very easy. Not to take anything away from her, but
that show maybe not so much though. Even though it was bad, like she played a lawyer, so she had to like wear those like white
on which show?
British lawyer wigs. Anatomy of a Scandal.
Oh, okay.
And so it was like all monologues and stuff. Dockery, like, yeah, she's beautiful and stuff, and like that's the first thing you notice because she's just so striking. But like
very tall, I feel like.
I guess, but I think like really when you give her like the heavy material, she knocks it out of the park. The scenes with like her and Maggie Smith just one-on-one,
Yeah,
I thought like they had like great acting chemistry.
No,
and
I
like
agree.
it helps that Maggie Smith is like one of the all-time greatest actors, but like I mean, like she really held her own.
Yeah, no, I think she's good. Specifically in this movie, I think she's really good in this one.
Yeah, for sure.
One question I had in this one, Edith at the end of the last movie, there's like a whole thing where she's married, right? And like her husband, or she's having a baby, and her husband like might not be able to get off of working so that he won't see the baby's birth or whatever. But is that baby not in this movie at all?
What? Edith's husband?
Edith is pregnant, right?
Oh yeah, right. That's right. Oh yeah, and that was wild because he was talking about going on this like boat trip with like I guess the Prince something.
Yeah, maybe.
Anyway, like what they were describing, I remembered from the first season or maybe the second season of The Crown. And so, like, I guess I've watched The Crown since the last time I've seen Downton Abbey. So I have more historical context for everything that's happening. It really enriched some of the scenes for me.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's great.
Thanks, bro.
I don't know. I don't,
Enriched? That's not a word.
what is the word?
Enriched. It's either enriched or richened. No, just enriched. It enriched it for me.
Richened? That's a word, right?
No.
Richened?
I don't. If it is a word, it's a stupid one.
All right. Yeah. If it is, then screw whoever invented that word. I didn't really have too much else about this one. There's the movie, and then there's like the stuff in France, you know.
Well, I'll tell you what. When they have to be extras in the movie, all the servants, they all have to dress up all posh. And some of these characters we have literally never seen dressed up in like years and years of the show.
Patmore, probably.
Yeah, that was one of the big ones. Patmore and Hughes, like the two of them, all like done. Like Patmore is like grody, basically on Downton Abbey. She's like you can't think of her as like being even a sexual being.
Oh,
you
she's
know?
very cute.
Come on, but then like seeing her like out of like Downton Abbey wear, like in her like kitchen uniform or whatever, like in a dress with like makeup on. And usually like I prefer women underdressed, but I guess just because I've seen her for so long looking a certain way and now looking a different way, like it was like mind blowing. It was like seeing Mrs. Patmore and Miss Hughes for the first time. And a lot of them, like Baxter too, like looked really good. And
who's that again? Does she marry Molesley?
Yeah, she married Molesley. I couldn't but fucking believe that Molesley accidentally proposed on microphone.
Yeah, how? I didn't really understand that. Did somebody set that up there? Did they expect him to propose?
No, they had the sound rigged.
For that moment?
Not for that moment, just for like the movie that I was about to shoot.
Oh, he proposed on the set of the movie?
Yes.
Oh, I didn't get that, I guess.
And yeah, and so everyone in the house heard him propose and they all cheered when she said yes. Fan service, my friend. I felt serviced.
Oh, you did. You liked that.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Was that a thing ever before this moment that they like each other? That seemed like very like sudden.
No, it absolutely is a thing. It's sort in the show. It's a little bit of a thing.
I didn't see it in the first movie, so I guess I just didn't really understand that was.
You're insane for not seeing it in the first movie.
Really, I didn't get it.
There is a scene where they say good night, and there is just a tension in the air, baby.
Wow.
It's like if Mr. Molesley whipped his dick out right now, they'd fuck.
Where were they? Like in a hallway? You said they were like saying goodnight somewhere?
They were like at a fence.
And he would at the fence. You think they would do it at the fence?
I'm telling you, the tension was so
Mr. Carson
thick.
would see them probably.
Dude,
or that other guy
Mr.
that
lives
on the farm.
He would just look disapprovingly.
No, I think very approvingly, probably.
I think Mr. Mason would look approvingly. Carson would look disapprovingly, but no one would interrupt.
Why? Why would Carson not approve?
Because Carson's just a disapproving man in general.
But he loves sex. He and Miss Hughes get it on every night.
Does he? Are you kidding me? I don't think Mr. Carson had sex for decades.
We saw a scene of them in bed. That's how I realized they were together.
I'm saying before he hooked up with Mrs. Hughes. Like he talks to Lady Mary about like when he was like really young working as like an apprentice butler at Downton Abbey and shit. And she's all like, you're part of the history of this place. And like, I'm telling you, like from that moment when he was like an apprentice butler to the moment he finally fucked Mrs. Hughes in season 5 or 6 of Downton Abbey, like I don't think this man got laid.
All right, well that's pretty sad.
And I don't even think he cared to, because his love, I think Mrs. Hughes will always be his number 2.
Whoa.
His great love is Downton Abbey.
What does that mean? Oh, the actual place?
Yeah, the house.
Oh, that is so sad.
I know.
Oh my gosh. By the way, did this end? Well, I know how it ended, but it ended with him like Somebody asked him if he was going to if he could train somebody, and they said Andrew. Is that Andy? Is that our guy Andy, Lucy's guy?
Yeah.
So they're gonna train him to
No,
be the new
not
butler?
Lucy's guy, fucking Daisy's
God
guy.
damn it! I messed that up all the time. Why do I
Yeah.
do that?
Yeah, Daisy. Now that Thomas is that was a big thing. Like Mr. Carson did not want to leave. For a while, they tried to make Mr. Molesley Mr. Carson's
Oh
replacement,
my
and he
god.
was so fucking pathetic at the job that they were like, "Carson's got to come back."
Barrow, is that the right one? Barrow
Yeah,
is so bad at the start that they fire him and then bring in Carson to do it. They're like, "You suck so
it's
bad."
not that he's so bad. It's just that Lady Mary doesn't trust him as much as
Oh,
Mr.
does she
Carson.
at the end of the second movie?
I think she does by the end
Oh,
of the
that's
second
good.
movie, to be honest. But he quits, to
Yeah.
go get fucked by Dominic West in perpetuity. And so I think
By the
like
way, I didn't realize that was him for a little while.
Dominic West.
Yeah.
So yeah, Thomas was finally Carson's replacement, and now Carson's going to be Thomas's replacement, but he's going to train Daisy's fella to be the new butler. But he's got to teach him to get this anger under control, this
Which
jealousy.
one? Oh, Andy? Yeah,
Yeah,
come on. You can't be butlering and being jealous at the same time. How's
I
that going to
can't
play?
picture Mr. Carson ever like hitting something.
No. No, me either. By the way, what's up with it in the second movie? He's just like he's like sweating the whole movie. His whole thing is like he's just like always hot. Wants to get out of his clothes.
Well, I think it's because he's in France. Like they wanted to do that. He's uncomfortable in
But that's
France.
like his whole bit. It's like it's kind of funny. I don't know if it's supposed to be funny or not, but I was like, this is like kind of a weird, funny bit.
I think the idea with Carson is the further away he gets from Downton Abbey, the less powers he
Oh,
has.
that's an interesting theory.
He gets weaker.
Yeah, that's funny. So this guy is like the main guy. I was actually gonna ask you this at the start, when I brought out the IMDb thing. If you had to do like a main four of this show, who would you do?
Well, you'd have to have like a main four for the upstairs and a main four for the downstairs.
No, main four in general.
You can't do it.
Why? There are too many people.
Yeah.
Well, you have to do two from upstairs, two from downstairs.
All right, fine. Then the main, it's
I don't know what that even means, but
Lady Mary, Lord Grantham, uh, Carson and Bates
whoa, Bates.
on the show. Yeah, Bates is
No
important
Maggie
on
Smith.
the show.
Maggie Smith's not on there.
Maggie Smith is a crucial character, but she's never the focus. She's there to just like snark. She's like she's sort of like a guided missile.
Okay. All right. That's actually interesting. Bates. What a shocker.
Yeah. Yeah, it's just he's all wrapped up by the time the movies happen, so he doesn't have a lot to do.
Yeah. They should have made him. Maybe his dad isn't his dad.
Yeah, maybe he could get murdered. Be really ironic after he was accused of murder.
Bates get murdered. That's the whole thing of this movie.
That would be a good for Downton Abbey 3. Just kill Bates.
Or Anna. That'll give him something to do.
Oh my god, he would go on a tear, dude.
Make him the Punisher. That would be awesome.
He's unbelievable. Like that is the best Bates. When Bates is like worked up about something, he goes crazy.
Really? I didn't really see him do
Yeah.
anything in these movies.
Because he's happy. He's just happy. Like the biggest thing he does is form that rebellion. Like that's
Mhm.
supposed to be fan service for the fans to, oh, that's the old Bates, like being a troublemaker.
Yeah. They should have
Yeah.
let Imelda Staunton form it. It would be like reverse Order of the Phoenix. How now she's like on the good side forming the rebellion. That would have been cool.
Yeah, it's the AD
What is that?
instead of the DA, right?
Oh, that's good. Yeah.
I don't know. It's not good.
Oh, I
Anyway.
liked it. I like that.
Thanks, bro.
All right, I will give it 3 stars.
I will as well.
Wow, 2 3-star. Well, you gave it 4 and a 3.
Mm.
My MVP. I'll tell you the names I had written down. All right, I had Dominic West written down.
Yep.
I had Michelle Dockery written down.
Yep.
And you're not gonna like this one, But for the MVP of this movie, I think in contention, you have to say Mosley's in contention.
Listen, he walks away with a new career and a new wife. You got to give him that.
Huge win in
I
this movie.
can I just say,
Yeah.
how quickly does he dump Baxter once they're living in Los Angeles?
Well, I don't think too quickly. It probably takes him a while to adjust. But he's supposed to make like 4 movies. By like movie 3, I don't think they're together anymore.
Absolutely.
But the first one I can see they're still together. The second one too, out of loyalty, and then the third one, there's no way.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go Dominic West though.
Dominic West with the MVP. I'm into it.
Yeah.
All right. MVP for me, I'm going to go with Maggie Smith.
Whoa.
She dies.
Yeah, great send off.
She gets a whole deathbed scene where she individually says goodbye to everybody except for fucking Edith. She says goodbye to Mary and Edith together, except Mary got her own goodbye that nobody fucking knows about a little earlier, okay? So
do they not
Edith
like
is
each
the
other?
only
Is that a
one.
thing?
I'm just saying, no one gives a shit about Edith.
Whoa, I kind of liked Edith. Yeah. So she's kind of cool.
She's the forgotten child.
All right. I mean, that makes sense when you're with Mary, but
yeah,
and Sybil.
So I was super into that shit. I'm gonna give LVP in this film.
Wait, who'd you go? Oh, Maggie Smith. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm surprised by that. Can I say, by the way, something that I thought about? Great for Downton Abbey for killing their character before the actor dies. Like I hate when all that they have to de-age because they just keep going on and on and on until all the actors die and they don't know when to end things, when they should end things. Good for them for getting it right and like having a proper send off for her. Great job.
I'm with you, dude. Sopranos. How the fuck did you not see that coming?
See what coming? What are you talking about?
What's her face?
Somebody died on The Sopranos?
The mom.
Yeah, but they didn't de-age her. That was a long time ago. I'm talking about like the recent thing about.
Yes, they fucking did.
They de-age her on the show.
There's a crazy episode of The Sopranos. The one where Tony's mother dies. They like use random, like it's like CGI footage of this old lady, and then they use audio from previous episodes.
Well, I didn't notice, so I guess it wasn't too terrible.
Noticed without ever, like, it is the most noticeable thing ever. You must be brain dead.
My LVP is going to be Andy again.
Again? He gets to be the new butler.
I mean, who do you go with? Edith?
Maybe. I'm looking at the field here.
Can't go Carson.
You could go Bates, I think.
Could go Robert. Robert's thing kind of sucks.
You could go with the whole French crew.
I kind of liked him. The chef guy who gets locked in his room.
The real LVP of the movie.
Oh, wasn't that Anna? She gave him like sleeping pills. Anna comes in clutch.
I'm going to say this. I think the LVP of the movie, and I don't do this a lot, is Simon Curtis, the director.
Oh, you don't do that a lot.
Because I think he made the movie where we've just seen this cast of characters and this set directed by so many different directors at this point on the TV show, and Michael Engler in the first movie, and now Simon Curtis. And I think Simon Curtis makes it look worse.
Yeah, and he's not Richard Curtis, and that also sucks for this guy.
Yeah, hell yeah. He brought Laura Linney along with him.
I won't do that. I will stick with Andy, I guess. I had Branson also written down because I remember like the only thing he does is swim and say he loves that girl. And they have a baby at the end, don't they? Don't they show up at the end with a baby?
Yeah, absolutely.
So that's big. He got a baby. It was a cute baby.
Oh, that's right. Oh, there's a moment where she says it's early days yet. I don't want to announce it, but she tells him that they're pregnant, and that was the moment I was thinking of, dude, where he's like, "My heart is bursting."
Oh, that's the moment. Yeah.
I was just like, "What, dude?" It is so crazy. This dude, this poor fella, his young hot wife, his young hot rich wife dies. He's left alone to raise their kid, all right? He's alone for almost a decade. He finally meets this
Another
fragrant
young, hot, rich
a
wife.
fragrant young number, and she immediately gets knocked up. Are you kidding me? I'd throw down a flight of stairs.
But that's a lot of money for you if you get a divorce.
What? Oh, but
Maybe she has to pay child
he's
support
set for
money.
life. He's set for life from having married Sybil, dude.
Oh, yeah. I guess you're right.
Yeah,
Then why is he even hanging out in Downton?
because that's his home now.
But why? If you're rich and you're now single, go live your
Listen,
life.
he did. He
Oh, he came
even
back?
mentions that. Yeah, he left for a while, and it didn't feel right. His home had become Downton.
He's like Morgan Freeman in Shawshank. Doesn't know how to act in the real world.
Yeah, or like
Brooks.
Jack on Lost.
Oh, does that happen to Jack on Lost? When he
Yeah,
gets off the island, that's what happens?
We have to go back.
Oh, I've heard about that.
Yeah.
But aren't they dead? Spoilers for Lost.
All the things you're saying are like vaguely right, but mostly wrong.
They're not
so
dead?
I
I gotta watch this. I thought
yeah,
I thought it was spoiled for me.
it's more complicated than that.
I feel like they're dead and you're lying to me so that I'll watch the show.
No, at a certain point they're dead, but not for the whole thing.
Oh.
If that makes sense.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. All right. What are we talking about?
LVPs? Did you say yours?
Oh,
the
yeah,
director.
the director. Hey, all right. So that's Downton. I ranked these fuckers 1, 2.
Me too.
But baby, make more. You know, it seemed like after the first movie, everyone was like super pumped about it. Like all the press, they were like, "Yeah, this rules. Like we'll just like make a Downton movie like every couple years until like we're all dead." And and then something happened where like after this movie, maybe because they made it before the pandemic and it was such a tortured process coming out.
Yeah, I'm sure that definitely played
like
a part.
a couple of them, including definitely Hugh Bonneville, I remember reading, basically were like, this one wasn't as fun. Maybe it's time to stop.
Well, the movie's very fun though.
I agree. The movie itself is fun, but maybe it wasn't as fun to make it. So like, you know, we'll see what happens. I'd be down for more. You know, whatever. Fucking Julian Fellows seems happy to crank these babies out.
Yeah. Oh, I would be down for more too.
Do a movie like a prequel that's like a crossover with the Gilded Age, like Downton Abbey Babies.